You ready, bro?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I'm excited today because I've been doing these retrospective thoughts on the entire Elm Street franchise, and I've gotten through all the garbage, but I'm excited for this one because we're back to form with the movie we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about Wes Craven's new motherfucking Nightmare. This is one of my favorite in the series. It gets a lot of shit for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's too meta,
Yeah.
but I fucking love this movie. Here's the thing, dude. Freddie started to take a really big decline into just comedic and bullshit corny territory. So Wes Craven finally said, dude, fuck this. You're ruining my boy. He came back. He wrote and directed this mammoth of a movie, released it in 94. And like I said, it's one of my favorites. I get it. If people don't like it, that's cool. If you don't like the movie, you don't like the movie, whatever. I'm not going to give you shit for it, but I fucking have a really good time with this movie. And at this point, it's a lot of nostalgia. And I think it set the stage for a lot of the meta stuff we see in Scream down the road. But yeah, I got you back, Gabe, to talk about this one because I know you're a big fan of this one too. And
Yeah.
if it's any indication, you got the VHS copy, which is super rare to find behind you. So I got a fun little story about that. So when I was a kid, this movie came out when I was like 5 or 6. I was little. And I distinctively remember going to Blockbuster and looking at the case. And when I turned it around, it's that part where Freddy's like opening his mouth to eat Dylan, terrified the shit out of me as a kid. And that's what I wanted, dude, because he was such a fucking joke in the later movies. He's really back to his terrifying ways in this movie. I really love how Wes Craven made him more darker. He still has a couple lines here and there, but it's not like overbearing. It's more cleverly written in along with his horrifying nature that he should be. That's how Freddy should be a fucking scary motherfucker. He shouldn't be a corny guy. But yeah, man, I love how they really brought Freddy back down to scary territory. So, but yeah, I love New Nightmare. One of my favorites. Enough rambling. I'll let you have the floor, brother.
Yeah, man. I think that this is definitely a precursor to Scream for Wes Craven. And I think what makes Freddy in this movie scarier is the contrast between the quote unquote real world and the movie world that Freddy's coming from, or the dream world inspired by the dream world or the movie world that people have seen. So I think what's really cool about this movie, I like to think that this movie takes place in the same universe as the Scream movies. I think there's two Wes Craven universes. One is the Nightmare universe where most of the movies take place. And then I think the other Wes Craven universe is the Scream universe, including New Nightmare, because I think it would make perfect sense. Because in the Scream movies, Nightmare on Elm Street is a series of movies, and it's the same thing in New Nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. I love that Heather Langenkamp returns. I forgot to mention that she was one of my favorite things about the original Nightmare and Part 3. But no, I could totally see that, and I've heard that before. How it could take place in the Scream universe. It would actually make a lot of sense. I'm kind of wondering why they never did more. I guess because by that point he had moved on to Scream and I guess put Freddy behind him. But I would have liked to have seen more. From this unique
Yeah,
concept at the time. Like they hadn't really done that before.
yeah, I think most of the crap that this movie got was because it was just so ahead of its time. Same thing with Last Action Hero. That movie was super meta, and that came out 3 years before this, and people just didn't get it. But that movie is incredible. Other than 1 and 3 and 4, man, I don't know where I'd rank this, but it's easily one of my favorites, man. It's I love the darker take on Freddy. He's just scarier in this. He's more brutal. They even changed his costume a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah, I
Look,
love the cape,
Freddy.
the cape and shit, or the long jacket, not cape, the long duster or whatever.
Yeah, and did you know they're making a fan film called Dylan's New Nightmare, starring Miko Hughes coming back to play Dylan Porter?
Yeah, I've been following that. It's been taking forever to come out. I don't know what the holdup is, but yeah. I heard about that. Man, I was gonna say, dude. I think this movie would have been much more well received if it would have came out today. With the whole like in universe thing with the real actors and real. I think it would have been. You're totally right about being way too ahead of its time.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. To answer your question, I would say, well, it wasn't really a question, but as far as where I would rank it, it'd probably be top three for me as far as the whole franchise goes.
yeah, and me too, for sure.
Yeah.
Top three. Yeah, I love this movie, and it feels kind of like Scream 3 in a lot of ways. It's even in LA and Hollywood, and that's another thing that I love about it. I love that Wes Craven actually acts in this movie, and he does well with the script that he gave himself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's this movie's awesome.
Yeah, and I love Miko Hughes, man. Just given the task that he had to do, with this movie, I think he pulled it off really well, especially considering how young he was, man. He was tiny, and
Yeah,
it really fit into the realistic side of things with the earthquakes, because they used real life footage of earthquakes going on at the time and shit like that. And it's a well crafted movie. It's a well crafted movie. I really like it.
it's very well done. It's I think it's easily one of my favorite movies. Like A Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorite movies, and Wes Craven's New Nightmare is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. I will drink to that, man, all day. And before we wrap this up, I got to talk about my favorite kill, because I've been doing that lately with these movies. I'll finish these videos off with videos. I've been finishing off each video with a favorite kill, and I got to shout out. It's probably everybody's favorite kill in this movie. It's Julie in the hospital. That whole sequence is just fucking money, dude. With Freddy on the walls and shit, and coming after Dylan, the camera goes sideways and shit. That's the kind of creepy shit I want to see from Freddy, man. Not killing someone in a fucking TV in a video game and holding a power glove like a fucking nerd. Like, this was so refreshing to see Freddy get back to form, to the nightmarish shit that I missed from the original.
Yeah, I think they definitely knew. Wes Craven knew that was going to be the best kill. That's why he had that whole homage to the rotating room and
Yeah.
feeling. And here's a thought: what if instead of making a more traditional Nightmare on Elm Street movie, if Blumhouse does succeed in getting Robert Englund back for another movie, what if instead of going that route, like the first 6 movies did, what if they sort of made a sequel to New Nightmare?
Yeah, that could be interesting. It would really fit with the age progression. Freddie, Robert Englund's so much older now. Heather Langenkamp's older. Obviously, Wes isn't here anymore, and you could acknowledge that. But yeah, I think that'd be a good way to adapt to the modern times and where everybody is these days. And you could even bring Miko back. He's an adult now. So yeah, there's a lot you could do there. A lot of endless possibilities, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. But with all that said, if you got anything else to add, man, we can wrap this one up. It's been great talking about this one. I haven't seen it in a while. So I might have to go do a rewatch. I got to find it first. I don't know where it is. I probably have to buy it off Amazon, stream it.
I normally rewatch every movie before we do a video on it, but this one I've watched so many times recently. I was like, oh, good.
Yeah, you don't need a refresher, man. This is just embedded in your memory.
This and Scream, yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you, bro. All right, well, that'll do it for New Nightmare. Let me know what you think of New Nightmare. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Like a lot of people do, for whatever reason. If you do hate it, let me know why. I want to know why people hate this movie. Because I'm genuinely confused about that. But either way, we're gonna move on to Freddy versus Jason next, so that'll be a lot of fun. But until then, we're out of here.